season too. And so like I'm really excited in this next off season. I really, really want to hammer and grow these legs. So I think if I can add some more size to my legs, obviously that's not before Vancouver, but as I've gotten leaner over the last 4 weeks, my legs do look more muscular, right? As I'm the cuts are deeper, the lines are deeper in my quads and my hamstrings, so my legs will look better in Vancouver in 9 days. But then in the next off season, I really want to add some size to my legs.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the legs is the most important part, especially with you girls and figure. It's the shoulders. You have to have that leaner look. You have
Yeah,
that taper, the broader shoulders.
yeah,
Compared to if you look at the other divisions where you don't want too much styration in the glutes, but
yeah.
if you look at wellness, styration is going to be in the glutes anyway because that's a glute heavy division.
Yeah.
Here we got from man Orville Hodge. He says, "Happy birthday! Congratulations in all of your endeavors."
Thank you, Orville.
Also, this is from man Rose. Russell G. He says, "I hate legs, especially the next day."
But you do it right, Russ.
Yeah, and also he says, "Arthritis in the knees suck. What would you recommend as far for how to train legs?" So, what would you recommend as a coach? And you do a lot, like I said, get a lot of lifestyle training. What would you recommend to somebody
Yep.
who's dealing with stuff like? Because I know I have arthritis, and I got it's somebody's tough days just to sometimes
Yeah.
just move around.
Well, I mean, if you have arthritis, there's obviously in the training, like when you're training, you have to find things that you can do, which is sometimes going to be like maybe elevating your toes a little bit in a hack squat, putting a wedge under there, or elevating your heels a bit in a Romanian deadlift, or doing more compounds that are on a machine versus front squats. I mean, there's like a lot of training things you can work around, but also like with if you can if you can afford it or make it happen or save for it, I'm a real big proponent of PRP and or stem cell therapy for arthritis. Um, yeah, so I actually had PRP, the platelet rich plasma injections, like in my glute, kind of at the attachment point for my hamstring because my proximal hamstring tendinopathy wasn't healing. That's a cheaper, like stem cells is more expensive, but I think I currently don't have an ACL in my left knee, and I have multiple cartilage tears in my left knee. But I'm kind of thinking more about getting stem cell treatment versus getting another surgery that would set me back a lot. So for somebody, sorry, I'm rambling, but like
That's
for
all right. That's fine.
asked if it was George or I don't know, or
Yeah, so that's Russ. That's Russ asking that.
Russ, sorry, Russ asked about arthritis. I mean, you definitely want to see what you can do to reduce any inflammation there. I mean, even just like taking turmeric every night, a really good turmeric supplement, but really dealing with inflammation and then trying to find exercises that work for you. And then another thing is eccentrics. You know what I mean by eccentrics? So when you're training, doing really slow negatives can really help stimulate the muscle and then you need less load while you do it. So like if you do, say you do a 4 second eccentric, a 4 second negative on an exercise, you're going to lower that for 3, 2, 1 push. You're going to need less weight. So an arthritic knee or leg might be able to handle that with slow eccentrics more than just driving a shit ton of weight.
Oh, that's pretty good. Thank you for that. And it's good information somebody can use. This is from my man Balls Deep. He says you should come to Chicago for your birthday. And
Well,
he
I
also
would love to come to Chicago because I would really love some deep dish pizza, but it's going to have to be after Vancouver.
yeah, like I said, deep picture. People, especially from New York, saying that's like what it is like it's mud. It's not really pizza. So you know,
At this point, you know what? I'm eating so many, like I'm on so low carbs. I just can't wait. Even like a frozen store bought pizza would taste amazing.
hmm He says, this is from my man Balls Deep. He says, she can train me anytime. We know what type of training you think about Balls Deep. Yeah, yeah, come on. Also, he says, she's shredded, because she's
Uh,
just about a week away from her next show.
yeah.
And also, he says, and this is from man Russ G says, shoulders and lat look amazing. So, yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
good.
thanks so much. I appreciate it.
So,
I
like, so
Yeah, I've done like all my own. You know, some competitors have somebody that programs their workouts or programs their training, and I have done all my own off seasons for the most part myself. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
So if we talk about food, so this is one I'm gonna ask you.
Give me all the food.
So
I'm
what was
so
that particular thing, Natasha? That
huh?
thing that called on you, that thing you wanted the most right after Toronto. What was it? Share with me. Share your anarchy. Yes.
There's
So
your alter ego.
yeah,
Came out.
yeah.
Um, two things I want the most. I want good bread. I want good crusty bread with a little bit of butter. I know that sounds simple, but like that combination of carb and fat, I want good crusty bread. And I also really want some good red wine. I love good red. And you go into prep, and I've had a really long prep because Toronto was my first show. I'm very excited to have some good red wine.
hmm Yeah, you just want it simple. I understand. Like a lot of ladies, they want a little simple, like
Yeah.
something a little sweet, something a little salty. Bread, most definitely, when your carb depleted, carbs is the first thing you want the most. You
Yeah.
just,
Oh, and peanut butter. I mean, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I mean, God, I want some like the fats too, or a big juicy cheeseburger and
yeah,
French
my
fries.
you sound like you want the whole kitchen sink, but
Pretty much.
yeah. Anyway, folks, uh, this is like I said, as a competitor, what would you think you would like to see most, especially for your divisions? Um, the shows. I think you still have a little more shows compared to like women's bodybuilding and physique. One example is like you're not at the Arnold anymore. Arnold, kick you out, because you're getting too muscular. You're not too feminine anymore. I do the idea.
What's your question?
What do you feel about your division? How opportunities for it like it used to be? Like there's fewer shows. You seem like it, or is it like it's still trying to grow within the sport?
What would I like to see for the figure division? I mean, I'm so biased. It's my favorite division. I just think it's the best mix of muscularity, but also poise and class. And, our poses are pretty, I don't know, just poised and classy and like kind of statuesque. So I know, like, I mean, and I love the wellness division too, but like, the wellness division is really blowing up because that amazing look of those big legs and big glutes. I know that's really eye catching. So I don't know. I mean, I would like to see figure a bit more in the spotlight. Um, but how to do that, I'm not sure. I feel like there's some really good like social media, I don't know if you call them influencers, but there's some great figure girls that are doing a really good job of sharing their journeys and like posting a ton of content. I think we need more of those. Like I kind of have said a couple times, I have not been very good at that. I would like to be better, because I think the figure division is, like I said, it's just a great mix of femininity, but also like you have to work your ass off to get to that level too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, its division has been around for quite a bit. It has evolved in the last few years. Where you look at now, if you look at like someone like Sydney Gillen, who's the
Yeah.
champion right now, if you look at someone like Jessica Reyes Padilla, I
Yeah.
know you competed with Amanda Winston. She was at the show, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Amanda, yeah, she's the look is getting to the point where it's getting closer to physique.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I will pull this picture where I posted this a while back because I always, like I said, I always try to, be informative, but also be educational. Where it was, I think, where is it? I had it here. It was, yeah, it was from the issue we were talking about earlier, Triple O Dynasty, and
Hmm.
also the Vancouver Pro. Now we have here the winner of the Triple O Women's Physique and the
Yeah.
winner in figure,
Yeah.
and it's Charlotte Pro, where it's starting to look like they're. Where is she? What happened? Hello? Natasha, we'll give her a minute. I think she might be having some technical difficulties, folks. Hello? So, guys, we'll give her a minute. She'll come back. She went out. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear you.
Take yourself out and in. Go out and in again. Can you hear me now? Wait a minute. Let me see your message. Let me see your messages. Let me see your private. Just, wait a minute. Can you hear me?
No, I can't. I don't have any audio.
I'm seeing your message. You should get a message in a minute. Just take yourself out. Yeah. We'll give her a minute and let her come back. Because anyway, folks, as you know, I hope we have a big show coming up. And also I have some interviews coming up. You just saw on my channel, I'm interviewing Melanie Specco. We were supposed to interview last week, but things happened. You had to change plans, but we're interviewing tomorrow. Also, there she is. All right.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It happens. But as we were saying earlier, it's getting to the point where it's like the women, more the women figure are more closer to women's bodybuilding, to physique. Paula Ranta, she's competing at the the Portugal Pro. She was a figure competitor, and she moved to switch.
Yep.
Yeah. You think you see that, because like I said, we're talking about Amanda Winston, a couple of ladies who were at that show. You think like there should be a criteria set where separates where certain women should maybe go up to a division and set the standards for what division should be?
Yeah. I totally agree with you, and it's interesting to see some of the competitors that have transitioned, and then others that are still in the figure division, but just seem much more muscularly developed than what the criteria is. So it's kind of, I don't know, I think the lines are a little bit blurry sometimes, but you have to trust the judges, I guess. But it's interesting. So I'm taller. I'm 5'8.5", and so I'm taller than a lot of, or maybe most, or a lot of the girls, in the figure division. And it's I just sometimes I feel almost small, like width wise, next to some of the other competitors.
So with the shorter girls, they can really put on more muscle compared to taller women. I've interviewed some ladies. One lady, Aubrey Meyer, she's like 6 feet tall.
Oh wow!
She was also this one lady who I know. We did a couple of interviews. Angela Nori, she's in women's physique. She was at the show also, and Angela's like about 5'10".
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean
that's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to those women, because I mean, obviously there's a lot that goes into muscle building, but I just feel like I have these really long femurs, like my leg from my hip to my knee is so long. I don't know, I feel like that's maybe part of, and all the knee surgeries and stuff, but I'm just on this perpetual mission to grow these legs wider.
Yeah. Also, you also have a study something before. You were in, was it was it biology or something? What was it you studied
Biology,
before?
yeah.
Yeah. So when you get to that, and be a bodybuilder at the same time.
I always loved, like when I was a little kid, I always was like a science brain, and like biology was just my thing, and I always thought I would be a marine biologist, and I did that for a few years, and then I just kind of fell into this path of, well, first I was more of a health and well-being coach, and I still do that. But it just kind of, I don't know, like my path kind of meandered a little bit, but I only did the marine biology for a few years. But it was fantastic. It took me to a lot of different oceans.